Menurut Threat Intelligence Report yang dirilis Software Technologies, lembaga dan organisasi Indonesia, rentan mengalami serangan siber. Hal tersebut setara dengan 746% lebih tinggi dari kejadian secara global. Di tahun 2021 lalu, Badan Siber dan Sandi Negara mendeteksi jumlah serangan siber yang masuk di Indonesia mencapai 1,6 miliar. Apa saja akibat yang ditimbulkan serangan siber pada bisnis? Tonton video ini sampai habis.
Direct impact to a company when your company is attacked by a hacker. And then if I categorize by percentage of the district that of the case that the hacker blackmails a company when after they launch attack, you can see that on top is Southeast Asia. About 35.1% of the chance hacker launches attack and blackmails for the money in the Southeast Asia Pacific. And then the next one is Latin America, Asia Pacific, Eastern Europe, and then next one is G7. It means that for these developed countries, the chance that the hacker conduct cyber attack and blackmail the companies in these G7 countries, the chance is much lower than the Southeast Asia Pacific, because the reason is for G7 companies, normally they have their own IT security team to build up a reliable cybersecurity defense, and they know how to deal with the cyber attack. And here I just categorize another one for the in terms of the percentage by industry. When the hacker blackmails a company, you can see on top is a finance. This one is very understand because a hacker conduct or launch a cyber attack to a financial company, they can blackmail this financial company, because financial companies every day they do a lot of financial transactions, especially the banks and the fund managers. And then the next is medical industry. About 23.7% of the chance cyber attack happens and the hacker, they may blackmail this medical company. Yeah. So this one is actually I categorized an impact categorized by district and also the industry. You can see from here. And next is from the statistics, I want to share with you how the cyber attack causes a financial loss. From left-hand side, you can see this one is actually 4 years ago, 2018 statistics. You see average loss per company from a cyber attack from 2014 is about 12,970,000, increased to 18,280,000. So it means from 2014 to 2017, average loss per company caused by the cyber attack increased by 40%. And just recently, I think from end of last year until now, I think the cyber attack is getting more and more frequent as well, because recently we saw a lot of news about the cyber attack, either in Southeast Asia Pacific or in at global landscape. And also from the economy loss, we can see that from 2015 to 2021, economy loss caused by cyber attack increased by about 100%. You can see this is actually the estimated data. From a right-hand side, you can see average loss per company by industry. On top is still financial, because financial industry or financial companies is normally the easiest target for hacker to conduct or launch attack. And then next is energy, aviation, IT, medical, service, manufacturing. Yeah, so these are the average loss per company. Now you can see on top, for example, the financial industry, financial company per company, the loss is about 18 million per company. This is actually just the average, meaning that if hacker they launch attack to attack a companies, for each company, the average loss is this amount, 18 million. For financial companies, for energy companies, is 17 million. Because the companies, they have to spend money and time and to clear the mess, and also they will suffer the revenue loss and reputation loss. So you can see that these are the direct loss or impact to a business caused by the cyber attack. And who are the easiest target of cyber attack? Actually, I can say it's a small and medium enterprise, because from the statistics, about 47% cyber attacks, it happens to the SMEs. And here the SME, small and medium enterprise I refer to, is actually the enterprise which has less than 1,000 employees. And from the statistics, you can see that small and medium enterprise, they normally spend the average less than $1 million US dollars to clear the mess of the cyber attack. And secondly, operation interruption caused by the cyber attack average is about 955,000. It's about 1 million. So you can see for SME, after they encounter a cyber attack, they have to spend money about 879,000 to clear the mess of the cyber attack, and they have to suffer about another 1 million loss in the revenue. And but for now, the actual situations in small and medium enterprise is only 14% of the SMEs they are capable to deal with cyber threats, and about 65% SMEs they don't have sufficient cyber defense mechanism. For example, the anti-Ddos attack and password protection, etc. And in fact, as SMEs, I believe maybe a majority of you comes from the small and medium enterprise. You can see that the main challenge of the small and medium enterprise facing in the cyber defense is one is insufficient manpower. Maybe one company, a small company, they don't have enough manpower to deal with cybersecurity or build up a cybersecurity defense. And another reason, another challenge for the small and medium enterprise to deal with cyber attacks, they don't have enough budget. And the third one, a common one, is small and medium enterprise. Normally, they don't have either the cybersecurity knowledge or talents to build up a strong cybersecurity defense and deal with cyber attack. So, but actually, in fact, even from our experience, because in CyberQuote, we as a cybersecurity consultants, we have done many cybersecurity projects. So, but from our experience, even the SMEs, they are facing these three challenges. But we believe that the small and medium enterprise, they can still do well in the cybersecurity protection by doing the following three actions. First one is we suggest SMEs to do regular IT assets check, for example, the penetration test and IT security audit. This one is very easy to understand. It's something like we do our health checkup regularly, because only after we go to the hospital to check our body, then we will know that if any potential disease we have. So for IT assets, is actually exactly the same. We will only know whether our IT assets is secured or not after we do a proper IT security check, for example, the penetration test. And secondly, for small and medium enterprise, we suggest to conduct regular employee cybersecurity awareness training, because as I mentioned earlier, the cyber attack normally happens. One of the reasons is because employees they do not have enough cybersecurity awareness. And nowadays, every day we are receiving a lot of phishing emails from the attacker. So by conducting the cybersecurity awareness training, the employee will be more aware of cyber phishing and the cyber attack. So whenever they receive phishing emails, they will know how to distinguish whether this email is a phishing email or not, and they will know what to do. So this is actually a second measure for SME to consider to take in order to deal with cybersecurity and ensure your working environment safety. And the third one is build a SOC team for medium and big on enterprise, our suggestion is try to build a security operation center, because after you implement a very strict security protection protocol and the risk framework, etc., you will know that you will make sure that every employee inside your organization that will follow the same protocol to deal with cybersecurity. Yeah, so these three are our suggestions to all of you here today to take into considerations. After this webinar, you may think that what you should to do in order to ensure your working environment security, free from to prevent the cyber attack and the cyber phishing. And next, I'm going to share with you the very common cyber attacks deployed by cyber criminals. Okay, here I categorize 8 types of cyber attack that every day it happens worldwide. First one is very common one is malware. Sometimes we surf internet, we go to some malicious website, and when we browse this website, sometimes the malware may be implemented inside our PC, but we are normally not aware of it at all until this malware do some damages inside your PC or your server. So this one malware attack is very common. It comprises 39%, meaning that the 39% of the chance of all the cyber attacks is actually the malware attack. And another one, next one is phishing. This phishing is something like a hacker, they send a phishing emails or phishing SMS to you. They put in a hyperlink there, but we don't know what is behind this hyperlink. Sometimes it's actually the ransomware installation link. Sometimes we don't know, we just click and immediately this ransomware is installed inside our PC or server. So this is actually the phishing. Another one is a ransomware, as I mentioned, but sometimes most of the time this ransomware comes along with this phishing. Because ransomware is actually normally implemented inside the phishing emails by with a hyperlink. Another one is Ddos. These Ddos are the direct consequences that they will cause operation interruptions. For example, e-commerce platform, if a hacker they conduct Ddos attack or DOS attack, then your operation may be interrupted. Okay, another one is a man in the middle, and then finally is Sql injection to steal the data. Crypto jacking, this one only the 15% chance. It's not very common unless your company you are from cryptocurrency trading company. Okay, so these are 8 common cyber attacks is actually what happens every day. Actually, it's quite common. And from our studies, from the Gartner statistics, about 80% of the applications have vulnerabilities. So the coming next, I'm going to share with you from our project experience why 80% of the applications have vulnerabilities. Okay, first thing, as I mentioned just now, these 8 common cyber attacks, I'm going to give you a few examples from our project experience, because in CyberQuote, we also do cybersecurity penetration test and also the cybersecurity IT audit. So first thing, I just give you an example of the Sql injection. Why 80% of the applications has vulnerabilities. One is this Sql injection. The Sql injection is actually very common because this one is actually very commonly used by attacker to conduct to launch Sql injection to launch the attack to steal the data. This Sql injection, I can also call it as a vulnerability which exists in the many applications, whether it's a mobile application or web application. So from left-hand side, you can see we have this chart, and this chart it represents attackers' favorite vulnerability types, because the attacker they attack your IT assets by using or utilize these vulnerabilities. For example, the Sql injection vulnerability is one of them. And here, why I put is a 19% is because 19% of the chance if attacker detect Sql injection vulnerability on your IT assets, they may utilize this SQL injection vulnerability to conduct or launch attack to steal data from your application. So this is actually from our experience. Yeah, and the direct impact of this SQL injection is actually the data loss and data linkage. Okay, here is actually the two examples about the security breach incidents enabled by SQL injection. I think a few years ago, for the 7-Eleven chain retail shop, a team of attackers, they used this SQL injection, this vulnerability to penetrate corporate systems at the several companies. And in the end, the attackers stole about 130 million credit card numbers. So this one was a real incident happened before, which attacker, they used this SQL injection and vulnerability to conduct a cyber attack. And another one, a famous one, is Tesla. But in 2014, security researchers they detected that there are obvious SQL injection vulnerabilities on Tesla websites. But actually, the good thing is Tesla company, they quickly patched this SQL injection and vulnerability on their website before the attacker launched the cyber attack. Otherwise, if attacker they launched the cyber attack on the Tesla's website, there might be a data loss also. Yeah, so these two are the examples about the SQL injection related cyber attack which happened before. Another experience or the example is the Ddos. Ddos attack, as I mentioned, is a very common one. If attacker they want to interrupt the operations, they may launch such a Ddos attack. And the Ddos attack is also the chance of the Ddos attack is also the 19%. It means that 19% of the chance hacker they launch the cyber attack is a Ddos attack. And the direct consequences of this Ddos attack is operations interruption. But bear in mind that this DOS or Ddos attack is also vulnerabilities which exist in your applications or your network. Okay. And another example about the Ddos attack is I think in 2012. These 6 US banks are very famous, big banks like Bank of America, JP, Morgan Chase. These banks they were attacked by by a group of hackers. So on that day, 12 of March 2012, these 6 companies, their operation was interrupted because the attacker they launched the Ddos attack to attack these 6 companies' IT infrastructure and the network. Okay. This one is actually a very famous one. From a left-hand side, you can see that from 2018 to 2021, you can see the Ddos attack from the global wide side cost us a loss. No, sorry. This one is actually the number of cases. The total number of cases from 2018 to 2021, the number of cases are from it was increasing, and the estimate in the 2023, the total number of Ddos attack will increase further. Actually, not only the Ddos attack, but also other types of attack. We can call it a cyber attack. Cyber attack, it actually increases as a number of incidents. It increases every year, and even since the pandemic, the number of cyber attacks has been increasing every month actually. Like I think 2 months ago in Singapore, we saw a lot of many news actually. Few banks was attacked by a hacker, and also it's quite common actually. So another one is these are cross-site scripting. We call it XSS. This one is also a common vulnerabilities which may exist in your application. And there are 12% of the chance attacker they launch the cyber attack is actually the XSS related cyber attack. And the direct impact is by launching this cross-site scripting attack, hacker may gain or steal the user account. For example, if the IT access is a web application, then the hacker may actually steal the account or crack the account password. This one is actually also very common. It's a common vulnerability that exists in the web applications. And here is another example about the cross-site scripting. In 2018, British Airways was attacked by a group of hackers, and the attack was cross-site scripting related. Because on the British Airways website, a hacker they actually injected malicious script to steal the sensitive user data, and as a result, about 420,000 staff and customers' data was leaked, including the credit card information. So this example, all these examples I'm sharing with you, is actually a very famous incident which was reported by media. But I believe every day there are a lot of cyber security breach incidents which are not discovered by media and people. We don't know. And another example from my experience, because we do the pen test on a lot of IT assets for our clients. So the another common vulnerability is this brute force. This brute force, it actually direct impact is hacker. When the hacker they launch the brute force attack, the hacker they may actually steal the data. It will cause you data loss, data leakage, and the account compromise, etc. So, for example, if you have web applications, then this brute force is quite common existing in the web applications. Okay, and okay, so here is another two examples of about the brute force attack. One is this. Okay, first example is this Alibaba's e-commerce site Taobao. Taobao is a very famous e-commerce platform, we know. But in 2016, a group of hackers that actually they used this brute force attack to attack this Taobao e-commerce platform and steal about 99 million users' name and password. It's a very scary one because you know, even China has about 1.4 billion people, but if we say a hacker they steal about 99 million users' name and password, then it's quite a lot actually, very serious one. Okay, but let me explain the brute force. A brute force attack is actually a trial and error approach to guess the login information. For example, the e-commerce login user ID and password. And then by this brute force trial and error guess, then the hacker they may actually crack a lot of account information and steal the login account information. Yeah, for example, your internet banking, all these application. Okay, next one I want to share with you about the cybersecurity vulnerabilities which exist in the your IT assets. Is the no, sorry, this one is actually the phishing, another type of cyber attack. As I mentioned, phishing is an approach that hackers they send phishing emails, for example, to you, and if you are phished, then the malware or ransomware may be automatically installed inside your PC, but you are not aware of it at all. So the phishing is something like you open the door to the hacker, cause a security breach from an internal environment. For example, if you have a very strong firewall, you can block a lot of external attacks, but you cannot stop the emails, right? If a hacker they spoof an email, spoof a domain, and send in a phishing email, and then if the employees are phished there, then maybe the hacker they can still conduct this cyber attack from your internal environment. Okay, this is actually an example of the phishing, a real life example. For example, like I think 4 years ago in Singapore, it's very famous one is a Think Health incidents. The attacker they send in a phishing email to one of the staff in the hospital, and this staff was actually phished. So in the end, the malware was installed inside this workstation, and about 1.5 million people's confidential personal information was stolen, including the prime minister of Singapore. And yeah, okay, so this is actually the phishing as a cyber attack. Here, I want to share with you that the trend of the cyber attack. You can see from here, from 2017 to 2019 in Singapore landscape, we can say for phishing, it increased 102.8% from 2017 to 2019. It means that every year the phishing cases increases, and also for the ransomware in 2017, there were total 25 cases reported. And but in 2019, total phishing cases were increased to 35. These were only reported cases. For a lot of phishing cases or cyber attack cases, it was not reported, so we don't know. But in fact, the actual number of cyber attack and cyber phishing or ransomware attack is more than that. The number is more than that. Okay. Okay, so you can see this is actually statistics, a screenshot. You can see in 2019 for phishing links, we in Singapore detected about 47,500 phishing links in 2019 only now. So it means that every day we are living in the information era, but around us, we are actually surrounded by a lot of information, including the phishing information, phishing link. Okay, so actually in every day, in our daily working, I think we have to be very aware of this cyber attack and cyber phishing. Okay. Okay, let's just do a very quick recap. So these are 8 types of common attacks, other cyber attacks launched by attacker. For example, the malware attack, phishing attack, ransomware attack, Ddos attack, Sql injection, man in the middle, crypto jacking, and zero-day exploits. As long as you deal with these 8 common attacks, especially the phishing, then I think a high chance you can secure your working environment to prevent cyber attack. Okay. Speaking of the cyber attack, the phishing caused by phishing, we have this cybersecurity awareness training, which we have been doing this in Singapore for many years already. It's actually approved by Singapore IBF, Institute of Banking and Finance. It's a government agency. So this phishing, training, phishing anti-phishing training program. We have 4 pillars. One is actually e-learning, meaning that we will open the e-learning modules for the employees so they can log in to learn the knowledge about the anti-phishing and anti-cyber attack. And then next is we are going to do a phishing drill, meaning that we will send a mass phishing emails to all employees, see which employee can be phished. Then next one is we will invite all the employees, all the phished employees to attend our 3 hours workshop. So we will train the employee how to deal with phishing and how to ensure the working environment safety. So this is actually one of our cybersecurity awareness training program. Later, if you are keen, you can actually find out more information from my colleague Andel. Okay, this one is actually a very recent examples I want to share with you. This one, these 2, you can see these 2 emails are the phishing emails I received recently. It's a very latest. You can see first one is about the Microsoft MS365 password expiry notification. You can see very clear that here there is a keep password button. But this button is actually the phishing button. If you click, we don't know what will lead to. Maybe it's a malware or ransomware installation link or something. But you can see from here, the email ID is this ID, homeadvisor.com, which I don't believe this is actually from Microsoft, because if it's Microsoft email notification, and then the domain should be Microsoft.com. Okay, so this one is actually a very typical example. This one I just received, I think yesterday only, phishing email. And yesterday I received another phishing email as well. You can see right-hand side, received from this lady, Christine Chan. It's something like you see here, there is a button called download files. This is actually the phishing link, hyperlink. If I click it, it might be a malware or ransomware automatically installed inside my PC. I don't know, but I never clicked. And after that, we called this lady, Christine Chana, and verified, but she never sent this email to us. So these two are actually very common, very typical example of the phishing. So just for your reference, maybe every day, I think you may also receive such phishing emails, but whenever you receive such emails, be very, you have to check, double check the email source before you click the button. Please check the domain, email domain, and check the source, see whether they really send you this information or not. Okay, otherwise it will be a cyber attack in the end. Okay. Okay. In summary, how to ensure your working environment safety? First thing is actually for the first thing is actually you need to do the regular IT checkup. For example, the vulnerability assessment and the penetration test. If you have applications, for example, the web application, mobile application or desktop application, or the network infrastructure, for example, the firewall, router, switch, etc., and also the device, you may want to do a regular security checkup by conducting the penetration test, so that you will know that regularly whether your IT assets is secured. If not, by detecting out the potential vulnerabilities of this of your IT assets, you can quickly do the patch to seal the gap before the attacker they find out. Okay. Okay, so this is actually the one of our suggestions on how you should do what you should do in order to make sure your working environment safety. Okay, I think that's all about the webinar for today. So here is our contact information. Our office is in Jakarta. If any queries about the cybersecurity penetration test or this cybersecurity training, you can always feel free to reach out to us.